So Christian Science basically is neither Christian nor scientific.
No.
Yes, neither Christian Science.
Yeah,
a
bad name for it.
Even in the 19th century.
Stop having it.
Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons. It's quite bad. There you go.
Well, a lot of stuff came out of this country at that time as well.
A lot of
liberalism time in the 1860s, 70s, 80s, 90s. A lot of stuff. There was a big outpouring, wasn't there, of all sorts.
But Europe, we get all the liberalism and the lack of belief in literal scripture and things like that. So it's like, we got all the dodgy stuff from you, but all the other dodgy stuff from
all the atheistic stuff from us.
Yeah,
which is sort of a bit of how it still is.
It still is now. Yeah,
we gave the world. We gave the world Benny Hinn, y'all gave the world Charles Darwin.
Yeah. Hang out.
There's got to be sort of a middle path of truth somewhere in this. But,
do you think that people like Kenneth Hake, all these people, do you think that modern, normal Christians have any idea about any of this? Do you think this sort of stuff is widely known at all?
Oh, yes, it's very widely known. Now, I would say a lot of the people who follow Hinn and Copeland and these others, they might not necessarily be able to articulate things like the spiritual death of Jesus doctrine that they teach, positive confession, the little God's doctrine. They're vaguely aware of them, but they don't really understand the heretical nature of them, nor do they understand the cultic origins of them. But yeah, I mean, their followings are huge, and as I said earlier, it is the face of Christianity in much of the world today, and it's a tragedy.
What about this chap we haven't mentioned? Maurice Cerullo, because Howard, really believes in this chap. And,
at the early
yeah.
Well, I was brought to law through his ministry, but I do understand that there's lots of attachments to his ministry now, which I would find very difficult to swallow.
So he wrote that book about, Adam and
Two Men from Eden.
Yeah, no, that's a good book. That was a long time ago, isn't it?
I read that book and I was a Christian by the end of it. I'd given my life at that point.
So was he one of those that started off with good intentions and has gone off?
Quite possibly so, yeah. As his ministry has progressed through the years, it's become more and more word faith, more and more prosperity-oriented healing, and he associates now with some very questionable, to say the least, like Mike Murdoch. Mike Murdoch is a very dangerous teacher.
He's got his own TV program, isn't he?
Yes, Wisdom Keys.
Yeah. Well, I think Maurice took over the old studios of, what's his name, Jim Bakker. I think, Jim Bakker, who has now totally rejected the whole thing himself, isn't he? Having spent some time in prison, he's actually...
Yeah, Jim Bakker famously was arrested in misappropriation of ministry funds and things like that. And while in prison, he wrote a book called I Was Wrong. And he realized in prison that the message that the gospel that he preached on television didn't seem to work in prison. And so it was, I think that kind of opened his eyes, and he recanted from a lot of what he taught. What he's doing now, where he is, I'm just not sure.
I saw a little clip of him rejecting the whole thing. He said, I was at the beginning of a lot of the word of faith stuff, and basically the basic message.
Saying now, you may have gone a little bit funny since.
Oh, since yes.
I don't know. You're not too sure about him.
I can't say one way or the other. I've heard that, but I can't say from firsthand knowledge. So I'll remain silent on that.
So, like, to summarise it, a lot of the people that we've seen on Christian TV aren't solid with the gospel. We need to be praying for these people as well as speaking out against them. Because actually, in some ways, speaking out against them could do them a lot of good if they suddenly realise the truth of their mistakes. The worst thing to do would be to let them.
I think they're past realising a lot of them.
Well, I suppose that's what we've got to pray. Yeah. And the other thing is, I'm guessing the whole point is that people have got to get into the Word, because that is the litmus test for truth,
so
rather
don't follow a charismatic leader. Get into the Word.
Experience is never the litmus test for whether something is right or wrong. The Bible is.
Of course, we haven't gone into the latest manifestations of Todd Bentley and John Crowder's a new kid on the block.
We're going to wrap this one up now, but we will be coming back and we're bringing someone else in as well, Chris Hill, and we've got a few questions. We want to go a little bit deeper and so hopefully ask the questions that ordinary people ought to be asking. And so for now, we're going to stop and we're going to have lunch now.